Hi, and welcome to another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist. I am your host, Dennis Richkovsky. Some of you recognize me as the co-owner of Flip Flops Donuts, and some of you know me as your broker of real estate, who specializes in waterfront and water view properties along the Crystal Coast, especially on Bogue Banks and in my town of Emerald Isle, North Carolina. On this channel, you will learn essential information from the inside scoops on buying and selling houses to learning how to live with the ocean, rivers, and sounds that define the Crystal Coast. Today's episode is all about insuring property here in Emerald Isle and on the Crystal Coast. Whether you visit here occasionally or live here full time, knowing how to protect your home from unforeseen disasters, man-made or natural, will add to your understanding of home ownership along the Crystal Coast. And that is a story that deserves telling. Before I begin, please subscribe to my video channel below or at the end of this episode. When you own a home, it is prudent for you to purchase insurance to protect your investment. Although insurance on your home is not required by North Carolina law, if your home is mortgaged, your lender may require the purchase of insurance on your home. Indeed, most mortgage companies require every home to have, at very least, a homeowner's insurance policy. Today's video is a short primer on the types of insurance prudent coastal homeowners purchase for peace of mind. Homeowners insurance protects your dwelling, attached buildings, and personal property in the event of a number of calamities such as fire, theft, vandalism, or wind damage. Homeowners insurance is usually sold as a personal package policy designed to cover a broad spectrum of perils. A peril is an event that causes damage to property, two examples being fire and theft. The homeowner's policy contains two sections. Section 1 provides 4 types of property coverage, A, B, C, and D. Coverage A is for your dwelling, your home. Coverage B is for other structures on your property, as attached decks, for example. Coverage C is for personal property, and coverage D is for loss of use. Section 2 provides for 2 types of liability coverage, E and F. Coverage E is for personal liability, and coverage F is for medical payments to others. Policies are infinitely customizable, and it is in your best interest to speak to a licensed North Carolina insurance broker to design a policy that best matches your exposure risks and fits your needs and budgets. I work with several such brokers, and if you will send me a text to 919-308-2292, I will send you their contact information. Homeowners insurance policies do not cover flood damage. If you live in a floodplain near a river, or if you live near or at the coast, you should consider purchasing flood insurance for your home. Indeed, your lender may require flood insurance if your home is located in a floodplain. Flood insurance covers basically external rising water, floods, and mudslides. So if you don't have flood insurance and the water rises and gets in your house, you have no coverage, period. And it basically has to get up to the first finished floor before you do have coverage. If it's just a garage level on the slab, things in the garage are normally not going to be covered. Flood insurance varies depending on what zone you are in. You've got a V zone, which is the highest zone. And by the way, the most coverage you can get through a federal program is $250,000 on a residence and $100,000 on the contents. If your home is in a V zone, your premium will be at the high end of the spectrum. If you are in an A zone, your premium will be in the middle of the spectrum. And if you are in an X zone, which means you are not required to carry flood insurance, anyone is still eligible to buy flood insurance, though the premium will be at the low end of the spectrum. One big problem around here is that Carteret County residents are surrounded by more water, such as ocean sounds, lakes, and rivers and marshes, than in any other parts of North Carolina. Most homeowners think that because they are in an X zone and they are not required by the mortgage company to carry flood insurance, their property will not flood. But because of all the numerous bodies of water and the numerous ways they communicate with each other, virtually every property in Carteret County is susceptible to flooding, especially around the rivers. Nor'easters and hurricanes can trigger rain events that lead to river flooding, a condition where a river overspills its banks. That is when its flow can no longer be contained within its channel. Water gets into areas that aren't considered flood zones, or at least not the 100-year flood zones. And property owners have a flood and they have no coverage. Wind and hail insurance is a critical component of protecting your home, automobile, and other precious assets. In the state of North Carolina, wind and hail insurance might not be part of your homeowner's policy. Yet, in a majority of cases, it is the wind and hail that will do the most damage to your home. Wind-driven rain. Most homeowner insurance policies contain an exclusion or a limitation for water damage to the interior of a building, unless a windstorm damages the roof or exterior walls of a structure, allowing water to enter. In other words, the storm must create a break in an exterior wall, or your shingles must blow off, or your roof must fail. All of these scenarios may result in water entering your home and damaging the contents of your house. And your homeowner's policy will cover those losses. However, if the rain just blows in under your door, which it can easily do, and your contents are damaged, your homeowner's policy will not cover that loss. This policy exclusion is known as the wind-driven rain exclusion. This is where wind-driven rain insurance comes in handy. Wind-driven rain is self-explanatory. It's rain that is driven into your home by the wind. And oftentimes, especially in a hurricane situation, it is the wind-driven rain that causes the major damage to your home. A major fallout following a hurricane is mold. Ask me how I know. Mold damage was not an insurable loss until I think the 1990s, when we had a lot of mold-related claims and issues here in northeastern North Carolina. North Carolina has a $5,000 cap on mold policies. To learn more about real estate in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, Bogue Banks, or the Crystal Coast, sign up for my blog on my website at www.eihomesforsale.com and subscribe to Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist on YouTube below. To receive my newsletter or my book, Live Where You Vacation, text your email address to 919-308-2292. Stay well and stay safe. So come on down and definitely return next week to the same bat channel at the same bat time of 9 a.m. on Thursday for another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist.